So with that principle, Madam Speaker, I support this. And it really does bring this out very well. In clause 2, this electronic invoice, it actually gives you all the details so that whatever you want to follow up later is available for you. In clause 3, when we get small business people, we were burdening them with this thing of issuing a tax invoice. We now put it up to the purchaser. So what we are doing is really making things easy so that more people pay, so that we don't have to push individuals. If you go to clause 3, if there is an amnesty, and I like this because it is on interest. So if it's on interest, at least that, the principal is still paid. And in clause 4, you give a tax relief where you are finding it is difficult there's doubt on the tax. More often, even in court, if there is doubt, it goes to the accused. So in this case, let this doubt and difficulty benefit the taxpayer. And for that, you have to put a framework. So that is what this bill is doing. And clause 5, withholding tax. People can withhold tax. They have taken tax from you, but they're not paying it. So later on, you get taxed, and actually somebody had taken your tax and didn't pay it. And in clause 6, if you have overpaid and you also owe tax, why don't just offset it? Why pay and then claim and you'll never get? So I think that is really important. And in clause 7, when you are integrating the systems, I mean, it makes it easy to do things. So with that, Madam Speaker, I find that basically what we have done is makes things easier, more people pay, instead of getting a few people and push them to pay higher tax. Madam Speaker, what the previous honorable member did is why I was raising the issue of reports. Madam Speaker, let's get into the habit of getting reports earlier, because reports and committee members give insight in some technical areas which people can't follow. So it's not that we are discussing the report, but it also gives you even what the committee thinks, what the public thinks, and it helps us in the debate, particularly when later on you're thinking. And I also raised the issue of numbers. Madam Speaker, next time, when we're having a very important thing like this, let's limit the number of committees that are sitting. Because even me, I'm now rushing that I should go and attend a committee, and it's a very important task going on. Those are the two issues I was raising. Otherwise, I support this.
The Honorable Member for Dagoretti North, Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me also thank and really give thanks to the committee, to the Chair of Finance, for indeed that, as I said when we were discussing the state of address of the President, that it is now when the country is calm, is coming to a calm, Madam Speaker, and we are able now to focus and see us move ahead. And I'm hoping also citizens are now seeing that in the last few weeks in this Parliament, we've been able to try to just bring what citizens have been asking. For me, Madam Speaker, one of the things I appreciate about this bill is that the Tax Procedure Amendment Act is now simplifies. It clarifies for you several tax processes. It informs citizens on how even you can do your electronic invoices. It outlines so that it brings you out of confusion. Madam Speaker, it also eradicates corruption now, because one of the things that we have had in this tax, while Kenyans are feeling harsh, they feel we have really pushed them hard. Madam Speaker, I'll give you an example, and I hope the President will look at the cities and talk to the governors of the cities. That, Madam Speaker, in Nairobi, for example, we have someone who wakes up every morning and manages the washrooms that you see across Nairobi. Madam Speaker, when I was Speaker, one washroom in Nairobi, especially in the CBDs where there's very full, floor is so full, we have a lot of people walking in. They walk away every day with not less than 100,000. And this person does not pay tax. You can't tax him or her. But that is what they walk away. The lowest they can walk away is 50,000. That's the lowest. A person you see in Nairobi, in the city, doing your shoe shine every morning, that person, the owner of that, because there's a person doing the shoe shine and there's the owner of the tent. The owner of the tent is like a matatu guy. The same money a matatu leaves in the evening taking to their boss is the same money that guy will be taking and now paying and then goes home with something, no tax. And so as we bring in these bills to ensure the salaried, those who pay taxes in this country, can also have a cushion. It is important for those who are doing all those businesses to remember there is a person who walks around to clean that place. He's paid by the county, but you don't pay anything. There is another person who does this. You don't pay tax. Maybe you pay the county and you assume that is the tax. No. And so, Madam Speaker, it will address such things. Madam Speaker, there's one thing we need to address. And I'm hoping also they will address that one, and I think it's in GAF and NCGDF, we have our committee members. They normally come for your committee meetings. When they are coming, you are supposed to give them an allowance of transport. It's not an allowance, it's a transport to go back, or maybe accommodation, because maybe he comes from the farthest end to come to where your CDF office is, maybe in town, and so we might sleep. And we must talk to KRA to see that that is not an allowance for tax. This is not a person who works somewhere and is taxed. And so he has a salary, and so this is an allowance, he's sitting like a bodo. No, this is a person who has come from a CDF place to come and just do a meeting. He needs transport to go back. We must remove tax from that, because they will pay VAT. And I remember during Kibaki's time why he said it is so difficult to get Kenyans, all of them, onto a tax integration. The best you can do is put VAT so that everyone pays that. So let us think of that, even in this house, Madam Speaker. We appreciate, and I'm telling Kenyans, you have amnesty that is very clear. Please walk into a tax office and deal with it. The challenges sometimes we face, and that is why you find sometimes a lot of non-compliance, is also, Madam Speaker, taxpayer literacy. And we must deal with it. There must be a way KRA must bring in awareness, public participation, not public participation of our finance committee and all committees of Bunge, public participation done by KRA to just create awareness. We are giving you new laws. They must go out there to explain to Kenyans now how they can deal with these laws. Madam Speaker, if we do that, we shall end up with good compliance. But then now, as a salaried person who is also in all this, I know we have 3 good bills that are also coming to resolve some of these challenges, Madam Speaker. So for me, as Kenyans, let us have the spirit of doing what is right. Just pay tax. Don't run, don't evade. That's why we find ourselves in all these disputes. That's why we find, and also KRA, you must understand that is the Kenyan who is supposed to give you also revenue. How you handle that person is very critical. I will tell you, in the market sometimes when you meet our KRA officers, they can be banned in a market for nothing, because they come as if this man is a thief. Just come knowing very well that is a Kenyan. Every day he or she will be in a market trading, and that is where you must collect your revenue. But when you come and carry all their goods, do all the manners of things I see sometimes at 4 a.m. when women and all those who are trading in markets, Ukulima, Kawangware, you find them running all over with these KRA guys. And you ask them, what is the real problem? Because when this vehicle is coming in, already you are collecting, county is collecting. So any person will not even understand that double taxation, Madam Speaker. And those are some of the things I'm hoping now we are trying to work out, and in this procedural act amendment, we will work out all those things so that women who are the highest traders in the markets will understand. But lastly, Madam Speaker, as I finalize, I've realized of late, I don't know whether government officials fear to just stand firm and give what government is doing, because some of these things, if you feel you fear, go and take a screen. Simplify the things they need to do. Let it roll there, and people will end up in the market reading, okay, put it in Kiswahili, put it in English, let them read. They will understand what they are supposed to do. Than just this thing of, it's the same as how we are dealing even, and I know we are going to a Kamkunji, Madam Speaker, but it's the same. Information sharing, communication. I don't know how we shall say this until it enters into the nerves of all the people who are working for the president. Because they are the ones who are making us, until now we have to be in Bunge, and you must do public participation as you do this. I mean, because we are wondering, where are you? There are good things, there are tough things, but where are we? But as we finalize, let us, and I want to thank the Finance Committee, we have toned down the country. They can understand there are different amendments that are coming in, and these amendments will support each Kenyan to be able to pay tax. Tax for development, not tax for corruption. It is not tax for your pocket. It is tax to bring services to Kenyans for them to see what is best for this country. I support, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for North Imenti, Honourable Rahim Daud.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. From the outset, I support the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill. Madam Speaker, in supporting, I just want to clarify that this is not a taxation on any public. It is just the procedures which we are dealing with. Madam Speaker, I drew the attention of the Chair or Vice Chair of Finance. Section 2, Madam Speaker, where it says 2E, the date and time which the tax invoice was issued and the date and time which the supply was made, if it is different from the date of the tax invoice was issued. Madam Speaker, I have an issue with E, F, G, H. In that, Madam Speaker, this thing will be very difficult to implement in the sense that the ETRs, which already the business people have,